Howdy, Banger pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly, Banger's monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. If it's your first time here, thanks for coming out. The way this show works is every month I comb through every album coming out to find you the 5 best underground metal albums, and then I play a little bit of them and talk a little bit about them. I also have a list of some of the big noteworthy stuff that maybe we'll cover. Maybe I'll mention this because we won't cover. You know, it's a big list of records, and then the records that I'm jazzed about. So let's just do it. All right, October 3rd, metal adjacent. We all love Author and Punisher. They're releasing Nocturnal Birding on Relapse. Woad, the great Woad, is back with Uncrossing the Keys on 20 Buck Spin. October 10th, blah 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 is releasing Hideous Aftermath on Century Media. Testament is releasing Parabellum on Nuclear Blast. And for once, hey, old guys sound great. That's amazing. October 17th, you've got Coroner releasing Dissonance Theory on Century Media. Evoken is releasing Mendacium on Profound Lore, and the biggest war metal band, Sabaton, is releasing Legends on Better Noise. It sounds like that's a greatest hits or so. No, the album's just called Legends. October 24th, you've got Soulfly releasing Kama on Nuclear Blast. October 31st, because it's a 5 Friday month, you've got Despised Icon releasing Shadow Work on Nuclear Blast. And the slowest, heaviest of them all, Primitive Man, is releasing Observance on Relapse. So there's the big list. Let's get down to the underground. Up first, a release that took me totally by surprise is Heteropsy Embalming on Caligari Records, October 31st. This is a Japanese death and stuff record. I'll explain later, but first tell me, who did this album art? They don't say. I need to find out who did that. If that guy does tattoos, I want that guy to tattoo me, although he does look like, his art looks like the 2 Japanese guys who are already tattooed. Anyway, it's amazing. That's an amazing cover. I love it. So the record itself, though, sounds like if, I don't know, Bolt Thrower made Slaughter of the Soul, because it's got these wild, showy melodic parts, but the core of the record is so much heavier. This is proper heavy-ass, old-school death metal record stuff. Like, I'd keep this in a gun safe if there was a melodic death metal fan in the house, because they're liable to hurt themselves with this thing. It's also a Death Doom record at times, but with the pace it gets up to, like the top BPM versus the bottom, I'm more comfortable calling it a frequently slow death metal record. And sometimes it goes really slow. There's like a ambient atmospheric track on the record that's amazing. It's fittingly called Methadone. It sounds like what listening to death metal on heroin is like. So I've been told. I haven't done that. Do I look like a guy that's done heroin? Get him out of here. I guess it's kind of just a bit of that, like, stereotypical Japanese craftsmanship thing. Like, yes, we choose to make old school death metal, but we can make all styles of death metal to an impeccable degree. Amazing. Up next, we've got Morke to Carry On True Cult Records, come out October 10th. This is some Minnesota black metal. We've got a nice homegrown cover that I gave some feedback on too, because yes, classic nepotism alert. Morke is a friend of mine, and this is on my other friends label. Does make it sound like I only have 2 friends. But I did hear Morke before I knew Morke, and I liked Morke from first hearing Morke, so we're in the clear. Morke. I've got a couple of questions to see if this record's for you. Number 1, do you like castles? Well, great news, the record sounds like it was written by a group of sentient castles. Of course, in reality, it was only written by one castle. It's black metal. It's only written by one castle. Do you like Obsequia? Yes, another band whose name I am almost certainly saying wrong. Well, good news. So does Morke. A lot. Morke to Obsequia is basically me to Hooded Menace, which means this record sounds a lot like them. It sounds even more like them on the 2 tracks where Tanner of Obsequia plays, which will have that effect, yes, but that is a pretty big stamp of quality. So at this point, black metal fans know what's up, but do you have a hard time getting into black metal? This record might help. The guitar tone is different from standard black metal in a way that's a lot less fatiguing to listen to, so this could be a good way to get into black metal. It's mixed in a way that's a lot less harsh on the ears, but without being the sickly bright like a lot of people's first black metal record these days. And this is all actual black metal, just proper, nothing. This is confirmed black metal, so you could potentially get into the genre by doing something crazy like listening to something actually from the genre instead of some jerks coming in and taking stuff. Thus, we come to our palate cleanse of the... Wait, what are you talking about? Why is the palate cleanse in the middle? Is there something different at the end? Watch the whole video to find out. But now let's just listen to Sintage, Unbound Triumph, High Roller Records, October 17th. This is a German heavy metal band with great cover art by Didier Normand. So thank God I checked, because I was deciding between a few records to put here, because High Roller Records went on an absolute tear this October, and I thought Sintage were Metal Monthly alumni. Apparently they aren't, despite loving their last record, so let's fix that right now. I have an infinite appetite for heavy metal that's fast and fun. I mean, the band's called Sintage. The cover features a guy with a flying V and a big ol' snake. You know what you're getting on here. What you might not be expecting, though, is how chunky the bass is on this record. This might be the clearest I've ever heard bass on a heavy metal album in my life. It has a nice bit of grit that balances out the over-the-top vocals really well, giving you both a bit of hair metal swagger with a dirty underground cred. What I wasn't expecting was this band to play a slow jam and me not hate them for it. They actually managed to convey strong emotion despite being a slower track. The energy level of the song is really high. I also might be completely cooked, and this might just be a mid-tempo track, and that's what I consider a slow jam these days. I don't know. You listen to Silent Tears and get back to me. Tell me what you think. Thus, we come to our Patreon plug of the month. That's right. This video is brought to you by you. Give us a couple bucks, and then we don't have to have an ad here, and we get to do what I want, and I get to talk about records that you probably haven't heard of. Isn't that fun? And we reward you for your support. Behind the scenes, uncut interviews, full documentaries. I do a tip sheet where I give you even more bands, and Sam just uploaded part 3 of his favorite metal records of all time. So give us a couple bucks, you keep the lights on here, and we give you even more metal stuff to watch. Now, yes, back to records. Dead Heat, Process of Elimination, Metal Blade Records, October 10th. From a low-key important town in punk history of Oxnard, California, playing some nardcore, fan-friendly crossover. We've got an amazingly silly, awesome 80s type cover by Six Slice. I've always found it really weird that Death Heaven made a mix of post-punk and black metal and it blew up and there's still bands cranking that trash out. Power Trip made a mix of hardcore and thrash. I mean, it's not the first time someone's done that, but it blew up and what, crickets? John Travolta looking around meme? Where's more of that? Damn, two post-black shots in one video. What's releasing this month that got Blayne so worked up? Come to twitch.tv/metalcomedy every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time where I research this video and you get to hear me say all kinds of things, but all kinds of things. Thankfully, Dead Heat are here and they're mixing great hardcore with great thrash to great results. Unsurprisingly, being from Oxnard, the hardcore is of the grimy skateboard variety over the kind of throwy jock kind of hardcore. This means it pairs perfectly well with thrash metal and sidesteps the pitfalls that can arise with mixing the wrong types of hardcore with the wrong types of metal and creating forbidden concoctions. It's nice to have another band that scratches the same itch Power Trip did, and Dead Heat do it with, I'd say, even more metal in the mix. There's a harsher edge and more aggression in this Dead Heat record that myself, as a harsh, aggressive metal enjoyer, enjoys. With their recent call-up from great hardcore label Triple D to Metal Blade, they could wind up being the next big thing, and boy golly, I hope so, and then please can some more bands copy them. This is the great stuff that can be produced when we consider punk and metal the same world as opposed to two separate ones. End this on a positive note since I started this segment as a hating-ass little bitch. Thus we come to our double palette cleanse. Yes, 2 palette cleanses in one video. Blaze out through the door. No Remorse Records, October 24th. Is Japanese heavy metal. It's on Greek label No Remorse, so No Remorse and a Japanese band versus the internet. Man, I'm amazed that there's even a listing for this thing. So I've got links to physical, digital will come after it's released. I have no idea. If you're familiar with No Remorse and you're familiar with Japanese bands, you know the complicated world of trying to listen to their music on the internet. This band hooked me rather easily with their single, partially because they have a single. That's pretty helpful, but also because it's a 4-minute and 5-second long track where about half that time is off the wall soloing. Like, yes, I am paying attention. Especially because you might expect that from some greasy speed metal record, but this has a more slight touch of like 80s progressive throwback sound to it. If I had found this on one of my psychotic listen to every single heavy metal band from one country in one sitting 40-hour streamathons I do, I would be less surprised than finding it today, which kind of makes sense because this band has technically been around since 1998 and somehow only released one album in that time, so they are an older band. I've got my ideal level of ESL singing where you understand everything, but it's just a little off, giving it a whack load of charm and character. My 2 favorite styles of heavy metal are stuff that sounds like this and stuff that sounds like Sintage, so I really couldn't pick between the two, and then I realized, wait a minute, it's my show. I pick what I just should be telling you my favorite records of the month. What am I doing? I do what I want. So happy October, heavy metal enjoyers, because I also will have a 100% all heavy metal tip sheet going up on Patreon for you, in addition to my normal one, because like I said, there's a lot of heavy metal coming out this month. I don't know why High Roller Record releases like 10 records in one. It's crazy. Spread those around for me. And speaking of spreading things around, spread some love down below. No, don't say. So, you know, what did you think of the records? Like, comment, subscribe, usual YouTube stuff. I'll get down there in the mix. Tell me about what, right? See, Rocktober, man, it's loaded. This is like the most records I've ever seen come out in 1 month. So, what are you buying? What are you hyped on? Talk to me.